Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that y'all are, I'm saying y'all because I'm from Texas. I'm so excited that y'all are listening to this video, and I'd love to know if if you guys are listening to it. Let me know if you're a subscriber and if there's any video that you really like from tuning into my channel. But as the title says, I'm doing something completely different because I have been all in on these videos, as you guys know, just singing the praises of Viking. And today the video is going to be the things that I didn't really like about my experience on Viking. And I am also going to just give you guys some of the things that I felt like could be maybe improved, could be better, because honestly, I want you guys to not only hear all of the positive things and all the great things and all the reasons, but I'm sure some of you guys are wondering like, okay, yeah, but there's got to be something. It's just like your blind date, that you introduce your friend to, and she's like, yeah, if he's that great, why is he single, right? So you have to or like when you're doing that HR interview and they're like, tell me about your weaknesses. And you're like, oh, my weakness is that I'm so great that it's just annoying for people, right? Like that can't be a weakness. But okay, I digress. So anyway, this is a good time to subscribe to my channel. I really am excited to see all of you guys subscribing, and I would love for y'all to get the notifications when I post new videos. And also it's just great because then the video gets recommended for people who are learning all about cruises. So anyway, I'll wait. Okay, perfect. If you could not find the subscribe button in that amount of time, then you're just probably like me. But let's just jump in. So I am a huge fan of, I just like travel. As you guys know, I like travel. I really feel that I'm able to turn almost any trip into something that I'm going to get some experience out of and that I'm going to enjoy. But today we just wanted to really find just the little details of things that we would improve for Viking cruise. So let's jump in, shall we? All right. Okay. So I will say that one of the things that I experience is that I don't love to wake up early on vacation. So I like to do wake up by natural causes is my ideal situation, meaning I want to wake up when I wake up. And of course, when you're going to Europe and you're going to amazing places, there is a tendency that you want to learn and you want to get out and you want to get up early and you want to get started. But I will say that one of the things that I didn't love is that I booked in advance a lot of the 11 o'clock excursions. And because there are a lot of older travelers, and let me just tell you now, I'm in that category. So I lost my eyesight, I think, on one of the trips because it was my birthday. I promise you, the day before my birthday, I could see great. The day after my birthday, I was taking a picture of the menu, having to zoom in. Anyway, point is, there's a lot of different ages on the cruise. And there are a lot of people who want to be on those early excursions. So there were a couple of instances when the 11 a.m. excursion just disappeared and you're on the 9 a.m. So by day 3, which was after my birthday, and I was also a couple of years older in my mind, I was kind of in love with the 9 a.m.s. But I will say I wasn't a huge fan that they did collapse some of the excursion times. So, and you also have to actually look at that detail, because I'm detailed. I don't know if, yeah, you guys know, right? But if you book ahead of time, if you book your excursions, I'm actually going to do a video about booking excursions, by the way. So this is a good time to subscribe if you want to hear me, talk more, or if you don't want to hear that, but you're just interested in the content about booking excursions, then this is a good time to subscribe to the channel, because that's coming up next. But I would say that you have to look at your personal itinerary on the app, because that was the only way that I noticed that my 11 a.m. excursion was not on there. So that leads me to the second thing that I experienced, which was there wasn't really a notification when the excursion time changed. So the first thing was early arrivals in order to really maximize on the trip. And then the second was there were a couple of instances when the original time that I booked for the excursions went away and I wasn't notified. So you really have to pay attention to the app for that. So so those are the top two. The third would be room service is definitely a great option, and I do love the 24 hours, and we definitely took advantage of that. But I would say it would be really, really good for them to change the room service menu maybe like every third day, because there's only a handful of items on the menu. Those items are pretty good when you consider that it might be 24 hours. But by day 3, late at night, if you are ordering, it would be nice to have some new options. So that was one of the things that I would recommend, is to switch out midway through the trip for everyone, so that you have some new options, and it would just be really like more on brand for that to happen. So that would be 3. 4, this is just like a first world problem for me, but I really wanted to not have competition between different things on board, because it is a small ship. It's a small number of guests. And so you guys may have seen 1 or 2 of the videos where I talked about like the port talks or different things that are going on. And there are some occasions when you have to decide between having, for instance, the like lobster dinner or going to the port talk. Now, for those of you guys who are like, oh, those are like really tough problems you have there. I mean, we're all talking about Viking cruise, right? So like, come on. But within first world problems, I really didn't want to have to choose between it. So I mean, which one do you guys think I chose? Just saying. Put it in the comments. Just let me know what you think I chose. So there are some overlapping times for things that you may want to do both. If you are not a person who wants to, for instance, go to the high tea, then it wouldn't necessarily be a problem for you. But there were a lot of times when like going to the tea meant that I couldn't go to the port talk. So that was one of the things that I would say is, I know they're probably trying to make it like really layered and stack activities, but I think it'd be nice to not have things crowd the port talks. So that was definitely one of the things that I'd like to point out. And then my last one is just, I mentioned it before about diversity on the cruise. It wasn't major about if there's a lot of diversity or if there isn't, but I think just for us, it was really interesting because there were a lot of people that were like actually shocked. I won't say a lot of people, but I will say 4 to 6 people, because you got to keep in mind that when you're in a setting that you have unlimited drinks and people loosen up and people feel like they can talk and they can ask you questions. I was actually really surprised about how shocked some of the travelers were with our ability to be on a Viking cruise. And I think that it was an interesting opportunity for a lot of people to come in contact with minorities who have the means to be on Viking cruises, because it was very, very obvious that one of the experiences that we had, and it wasn't many, but we had a few where people were really, really curious about what we did for a living, and they wondered if my husband played professional football, and they were just asking about what we did and just trying to kind of get a feel for how we were on the cruise. And so for me, and especially because if you guys don't know this, I've written a book called A Cure for the Common Culture. I thought it was a good opportunity to have a conversation about surprise, surprise, like there's a lot of different things that have happened in the last 50 years. But that was one of the things that I would say I didn't love, is that there were people who were not used to being in the company of people that have the same means. And so I think that was an opportunity. But we made a lot of great friends who, whether they've ever been in that company or not, I think they were like, wow, we all have common interests. And that is also one of the things I talk about in my book. So anyway, those are my top 5 things that I think are opportunities that could be adjusted. One of them you can't do anything about, because you can't do anything about people's personal exposure and what their unintentional biases are, or what their questions or confusions might be. But I think that's why we travel, and that's why we interact, and that's why we want to always have more exposure, because the more people that you're exposed to, the more you know, and the smaller that your opinions get. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and if y'all have different opinions, let me know and just leave them in the comments.